And tonight we are learning more about the Texas man accused of a suspected terror attack in New Orleans. Thank you for joining us on this difficult start to the new year. We know 14 victims and the suspect died, but dozens more are hospitalized tonight. A live look now at Bourbon Street in New Orleans. Normally it would be packed with tourists. Tonight it's empty as police have it shut down as a crime scene. Law enforcement obtaining disturbing surveillance video showing the suspect's rented pickup coming down Canal Street around 3:15 a.m. It went up onto a curb to get around a parked police car before crashing into pedestrians. President Biden says the suspect posted video on social media indicating he was inspired by the terror group ISIS. He has deployed the FBI, Homeland Security, National Counterintelligence, and more to get answers to what he calls a heinous act.
To all the families of those who are killed, to all those who are injured, to all the people of New Orleans who are grieving today, I want you to know I grieve with you. Our nation grieves with you. We're going to stand with you as you mourn and as you heal.
Right now, authorities are still swarmed around the suspect's home in Houston, searching for more evidence and a motive. Authorities say they're in contact with people who knew the suspect. Senior investigative reporter Tanya Iser is live in New Orleans. Tanya, we know you've also learned new information about Shamsuddin Jabbar. What can you tell us?
Well, we have heard so many things about him, and we're going to talk more about them in the story that's about to air. But as you can see behind me, there is a heavy police presence here in the French Quarter. It's relatively quiet down here as police continue to investigate and try to find all those who carried out this act of terrorism.
I need EMS to Canal and Bourbon now.
These were the first calls first responders made as the scene unfolded on Bourbon Street on New Year's Day.
We have dozens of people that got hit by this car.
Authorities identified the dead suspect as 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar.
This man was trying to run over as many people as he possibly could.
New Orleans Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick.
This man, this perpetrator, he fired on our officers from his vehicle when he crashed his vehicle.
Here's how bystanders described the scene.
You hear the screech of tires.
This bystander said he briefly lost sight of one of his friends.
And I turn and I look in the street, and her right leg is flipped like horror movie style over her back, and it's just blood.
Authorities found an ISIS flag on the back of the truck that Jabbar rented through a rideshare app. Inside, they found explosive devices. Authorities located other potential explosive devices planted in the French Quarter.
This is not just an act of terrorism. This is evil.
Police are looking for at least 4 other people thought to be involved. Back in Texas, officials in Harris County searched a trailer house connected to Jabbar. I've also found that Jabbar grew up in Beaumont. He's shown here in these yearbook photos from Central High School.
I would have thought he'd been like a CEO or an entrepreneur.
Micah Roach graduated with him in 2001.
He was well respected, carried himself well, and I mean, you just wouldn't think that he would do something like this.
A family friend told our sister station in Beaumont he last saw him in early 2024.
This is not how we knew Shamsuddin. It's amazing. I'd love to get my hands on whoever influenced him.
In a YouTube video, Jabbar touted his real estate sales skills.
I've been here all my life, with the exception of traveling for the military.
He said he'd spent 10 years in the Army and human resources and IT.
I learned the meaning of great service.
How he went from how he described himself in that video to what happened on Bourbon Street is something we will continue to look into. Well, it's pretty clear in the coming days we will find out a lot more about Jabbar and what led him to carry out this attack.
Tanya, before you leave us, we've also learned that Jabbar worked at the accounting firm Deloitte. What is the company saying tonight?
Well, they're saying that he was hired in 2021 in a staff level role. The company said in a statement that they are shocked that he's been identified as a suspect, and they also said in a statement that, like everyone, we are outraged by this shameless and senseless act of violence. Back to you.
All right, our thanks to you, Tanya Iser, live in New Orleans tonight. And now we turn to the victims. Some information is beginning to emerge about the lives lost. If their families feel comfortable sharing it, One was a mom, one was a dad, another just 18 years old. Teresa Woodard is in the newsroom with some of their stories, including a close tie to North Texas. Teresa?
Yeah, Cynthia, a TCU football player who just declared for the NFL draft lost his brother. Young kids lost their parents, parents lost their kids, all because police say a man from Texas committed an act of terror.
Most every time the Horned Frogs took the field in 2024, in the stands was Tiger Besh, his brother Jack, a TCU wide receiver. Tiger had played for Princeton, then became a stockbroker in New York. Now 27, he went to New Orleans for the new year, was supposed to leave the city on Wednesday, but he died in a terror attack. So did Reggie Hunter, a 37-year-old father of two from Baton Rouge. His cousin says 7 minutes after midnight, Reggie sent a Happy New Year text to the family group chat. About 3 hours into that new year, he was killed.
Why? Why did you have to do this to not just him, to all of those victims? No one was looking for that to happen. No one deserved that to happen.
27-year-old Nicole Perez was also from Louisiana. Her boss told ABC she had a 4-year-old little boy, and she'd been teaching him to read. Cheyenne Dedeaux was just 18, only a few months out of high school and about to start nursing school. Her mom told ABC in a phone call Cheyenne snuck away from their home in Gulfport, Mississippi to New Orleans against her mother's wishes.
Even if you're 18, even if you feel like you're grown, listen to your parents. If they tell you don't go nowhere, listen to them. It's a reason. If she would have listened to me, she wouldn't have been there.
A new year should begin with unbridled hope, not 2025. It begins with unspeakable hurt.
There was a prayer service for victim Tiger Besh tonight at a church in his hometown of Lafayette, Louisiana. Jack, his brother, the TCU student, tweeted earlier today, "You inspired me every day. Now you get to be with me in every moment. I got this family, T. Don't worry." Cynthia?
Our thanks to you, Teresa. At this hour, we were supposed to be seeing Georgia take on Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl in New Orleans, but the tragedy forced a delay in the game until 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. That allows law enforcement to focus on the investigation and time to review security for the game.